Hello everyone, welcome to the Monday board meeting. Welcome to the Monday board meeting, which always is released on Tuesday because we make sense. We film it on Monday for the most part, unless there's no waves. Welcome back. So we're going to talk about where we surf, what boards are going online, and some news about our team. And mainly our main topic of discussion today is surf comps. As we've sort of dived into that world a little bit to create our own comp, we've got a little bit further along after this weekend, so we'll talk about that. So first, and there's no Tom today. He is stuck in the field at a festival, something for the young kids. I don't know what he's up to. Getting muddy, but he'll be back next week. So where do you surf? I know where you surf.
Yeah, that was the only surf I had. I surfed North Fistral. It was pretty horrible, pretty howling.
Yeah.
Raining, onshore. I surfed the Chili Jam, as always. Kind of, to be fair, was probably the first surf I've had on it where I felt like I wanted a shortboard instead.
Do you know what? Funny actually, because I was watching. So I didn't surf this weekend. The only thing you could do worse than surf Fistral this weekend was film that surf in the rain. I nearly killed a guy. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But yeah, I was watching that surf, and because of the wind, everyone, because like Lucas and Finn and Jago and all that were out there as well. So there's a decent crew if you're surfing, but everyone looked kind of slow.
Yeah.
And it looked like your nose was like wider, and it's almost, you noticed that shortboard drive was just carrying through a little bit better.
Yeah.
Whereas you were sort of getting held up. It wasn't hideous amounts, but it looked like it was harder for you to do a turn than it was them. Because, overhead conditions, stormy. So I feel like, you probably found a limit there. I think you would have been better off on a shortboard.
Yeah.
And I guess, proof in the pudding, you had the first ever Ultimate Surfing Championships heat that we've ever done, and you lost it.
Yeah.
100% the board's fault.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
Maybe the new spray job.
Yeah, I did a ding repair for him, a turbo quick ding repair, and because he smashed the nose up, and I did a little famous hearty black spray on it, because ever since I've ever made surfboards, the damage that I've done with a black spray can or a black Posca.
No, it does look pretty sick. I think it looks cool.
Looks right. Looks better than seeing a ding. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Cornwall had the dreaded northerly winds. Kind of a decent amount of swell, but you just can't really go anywhere, can you?
There's nowhere to hide, really.
Nah. We'd already made our mind up that we were going to test the format of our new comp. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. Let me just go through the standard stuff quickly. Boards going online. So obviously Tom's not here to sort of model anything that has gone online, but if you head over to our, I'm just going to get the name of it right, our in-stock surfboard page on the Collab website, he's uploaded a couple of little gems. You've got the 6.0 Jeff McCallum PDX. It's an ex-demo board we've all been surfing. Super fun. You can surf it in like the most midget of waves. It floats me in these sort of knee-high waves, and it's only a 6-foot board, so it's a really, really fun little board as a quad. That's gone online. All of Axel's first run of his boards are online. So you've got the OG, which was formerly the 69er. You've got... that's the only one that's gone on so far. So there's more of them coming soon. We've got a 6.4 Flow Stick Pro, Form Flow Stick Pro. Brand new. When I took it out of the van at Board Shop to deliver it for their stock boards, I sort of rubbed it against the nose of another board that it was next to in the van, and it hasn't even dented it. It's very, very light blemish. There's no point us even taking a photo of it because you can't really see it.
That one's sick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really cool tint. So we've got 710 Love Machine thick Glizzy surfboard with a deck tint. That's it. A little bit of team news. There was a Welsh Junior Surf Series competition held at, I want to say Porthcawl, maybe Rest Bay, can't remember. Should have checked that, shouldn't I, before I started talking about it. But there was a Welsh Junior comp this weekend. We had a couple of sort of team riders doing it. First shout out to Bryn Bailey. He did the longboard, under 18s longboard, and he was he's 12 and everyone else was like 18, and it looked pretty funny. Yeah, he did really well for it. So shout out Bryn, well done for competing against the big guns. Had to borrow a board from Ben Skinner as well, so he had a board for the longboard comp. So I'm sure he had a load of fun and good effort for trying, Bryn. That's well good against the bigger kids. Josie Hawke won the under 18s girls.
No surprise.
No surprise there. She pretty much just looks at a comp and wins it. She's such a phenomenal talent. Works really, really hard, and I'm sure she was. I'm sure she really enjoyed the comp. But just to be there competing on the weekend is just really good practice, isn't it, for bigger stuff to come for her.
Yeah, definitely. Following
up from his Welsh under 18s national win, Tom O'Leary took the win in the under 18s boys shortboard.
Sick.
So that was really, really good. Well done, Tom. Absolutely ripping. Eli was down this weekend to help us film this competition, and he was saying how good Tom's surfing, and he's absolutely ripping at the moment. So that's epic to hear. So shout out Tom O'Leary. Haven't heard from you for a while. Haven't had boards for a couple of months now, but apparently your latest rock star's going pretty well by all accounts. So stoked to hear it with the comp wins. And then I just wanted to shout out quickly our Irish up and comer Koa Regan, because he's just a beast, man. He's not only in stature, he's 5'9", 65 kg, and he's just turned 13. But he was like one of the youngest surfers to get invited to the G-Man Invitational.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
When's it taking place?
It's done.
It's happened?
Yeah, it's this weekend, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's last week. And I really wanted to go over there. I messaged him, I was like, could Jackson do it? And he's like, it's only for Irish surfers, and I completely respected that.
Yeah.
But just to go over there for the week to watch it would have been epic. I love what G-Man's doing over there.
Do you know who won?
I don't. Should we check?
Yeah.
Should we check and shout him out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you check and I'll run through. So Koa got invited to do that as one of the youngest competitors, and man, there's so many killers in Ireland at the moment, so just to compete was amazing. Made a couple of heats over the weekend at his County Sligo Open. He did another one as well, and he made the final, and I can't remember what that was. But he's done a whole load of comps and he's doing really well over there, and he's got all the makings to be a pro surfer, that kid. So shout out Koa Regan, you're absolutely ripping. Josh
Shaka dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, he
Totally
rips. Surf's so good. He's like G-Man's, one who's snapping at G-Man's tails.
Yeah, he's young still now as well.
I think he's like 17, isn't he? 18? But so well done Josh Acker for winning the comp. Epic. The Welsh team just got announced for the Euros. That's starting next weekend, so I'm really excited for that, because the highest placed British surfer at the Euros, so anyone from the Scottish team, English team, Channel Islands team or Welsh team, will represent GB at the Worlds, the highest placed surfer. So that's such a good carrot dangled from GB Surfing to go, hey, if you do well in these Euros, you're gonna represent GB with a chance to make the Olympics. So, which I think is a really good idea, because it's incentivising.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Luke's the coach. Luke Dillon's the coach, and obviously he doesn't make these decisions. He's got a job, and his job is progression with whatever team he's got.
Yeah.
But I bet if they see a standout, that they could work with, it's worth sending it, put it that way.
Oh, for sure.
On the Welsh team, we've got Eli Perrins-Davies, newly crowned Open Welsh champion, and second place Logan Nicol, both riding my board. So they're going over for Wales. I'm really excited for them. They've got a couple of freshies on the way as well. Logan's got one in the factory anyway. Eli came down this weekend to help us to surf this comp, and we got talking about a little sort of pocket nugget board that he hasn't really got in his quiver. He's got his UK board styled, and he's kind of got his like big pumping wave board style, but he hasn't got that sort of little comp board for like the Euro punchy waves. So I've whipped him one out. I'm going to try and shape it today or tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm going to get that ready for Friday, because I'm crazy like that. So they'll both have some freshies to take over there, which hopefully will be Euro winning boards.
Where's it held?
It's in Europe. It's in Europe.
Somewhere.
I can't remember. I think it is Portugal. The athletes who will represent Wales at Eurosurf 2025, Santa Cruz, Portugal, 18th to the 25th of July. I will be watching.
Yeah.
So come on Team Wales, come on Team Scotland, come on Team Channel Islands, come on Team England. But yeah, it's just fragmented, isn't it? The only people who really want to watch that is the competitors, because there's about 1 million, and then their mums and dads, and kind of like maybe us, because
people around that sort of
but we need to get more eyes on it. So
Yeah, I definitely watched all the heats that our boys are in.
Yeah, and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Josie's not going, but that's all the news. So, without further ado, we want to talk about this weekend. You did the first ever Ultimate Surfing Championships heat, and that basically what we've done is we've come up with a comp that we want it to be really engaging for people to view, because lots of people watch boxing and they're not boxers, and lots of people watch I don't know, darts, and they don't play darts on a competitive level. So we want it to be really engaging for people to watch. And I think that the process of a 20-minute four-man heat in not very good waves with 120 competitors, or a 35-minute heat with two surfers in really, really good waves, it can be sometimes lackluster, hard to get behind. You never really know what's going on. Competitions take days to run. So we have worked out a concept of competition for surfing that's knockout based, meaning that you win by challenging your competitor with a wave, and if they can't beat that wave, you win the heat. That simple. Knockout surfing. So me and Joan are in the water. Joan scores a 5. I have got 15 minutes to better that 5. If I better the 5, Joan then has to chase my score. If during that 15 minutes, Joan betters his own 5, he can claim it, and the judges will judge that wave. And if it's better than his 5, then he ups the score that the other competitor needs, and then the timer sets again, 15 minutes. So there's lots of tactics involved. What we're trying to do is just build scenarios of intensity and push good surfing. It's just a new concept, and so far everyone I've spoke to about it has really liked the concept. And then as a competitor, you've done it now in a heat.
Yeah.
Admittedly, not great conditions. We weren't very well prepared, and we know what we need to do for future heats. But how was it?
Yeah, it was sick to just get the ball rolling and run through a heat just to see what it's like. I mean, obviously we've been talking about it a lot, and I already had in my head sort of like strategy ideas, but then when we were actually in the heat, there was so much going on in my head that was not normal, like a normal competition strat,
Really?
which I thought was really sick.
Yeah.
And me and Eli were talking, but obviously we weren't like serious, we were like chatting and...
No, it's for a pasty, so...
Yeah. Right, where were we? So yeah, ran through the comp for the first time, which obviously subpar conditions and ill prepared, but it was good to do. And I think I loved being in a competition while surfing, but also it not feeling anything like a competition I've done before. Yeah. And even Eli said it as well when we were paddling out. He was like, I've never done a contest like this at all. And it was both like fresh things in our mind. And the strategies that came into play were really interesting. Like, I found it hard because I saw Eli get a couple waves at the start.
Yeah.
I didn't know he hadn't claimed them, or he said he hadn't claimed them or something. So it was like...
Yeah.
And we didn't know any idea in the timing, so I think that was the trickiest part. But as a whole, to be in that position felt really cool. To just like, we weren't like scraping for threes or whatever.
No, you go full send every
and I know I lost, but still, it was fun to...
Yeah, but you might not have lost if you'd known what... So basically, we had a very ropey system of coloured jerseys on the shoreline that indicate... So how it works is there's 3 set scores that you can claim on. One is 2.5 to 5, and that would be a yellow wave. One is 5.1 to 7.5, which is an orange wave, and then 7.6 to 10 is a red wave. So we were visually showing the surfer, or trying to show the surfer, a red score, and then Joan was the green surfer and Eli was the white surfer. So we show green requires an orange score, and eventually, obviously, when we're properly set up, we'll have electronic boards that will visually be able to show this. And I've been building an app all weekend so that if surfers want to wear a watch, they can be sent the information. They can look on the watch. They don't even have to look to the shoreline. But I'm sure the shoreline stuff's going to be fine once it's up and proper. But it was so windy and raining that the visibility to the shore was quite bad to see a scrunched up rash vest on a railing that had loads of wetsuits along it, and they kept on falling off, and I weren't noticing because I was doing the camera work, the judging. My dog's a knob and escaped onto the beach, and the umbrella that I was trying to sit under, which is a huge Red Bull sun umbrella, it was so windy that it blew up from where I was sitting, launched into the air and went onto the balcony of Crystal by the restaurant. So it was pretty carnage, and I had to run and go and get that mid-heat, which I'm sure those things wouldn't happen when we properly set up. Humble beginnings.
Yeah, and it was like, I think the format definitely works, and the way we've set it up definitely works. As soon as we have it in place properly, then it will be super easy to understand from the water as well.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to practice. We're going to build some boards so that we've got proper boards. So we're going to go practice again. Before our main event, which is going to be around September. Not our main event, our first event is going to be in September. So we get a load of practice in for that, and the app's going to be sick.
That would change it completely, and I think that's what it's about, is just giving it a few run throughs and seeing what works and what doesn't and what needs to change, and then when we actually launch it, it's going to be spot on, and it is definitely an exciting format. So
it was well exciting for me to watch. You can hear me talking. So what we'll do, rather than do a whole separate video, we'll post the footage that we got over the weekend, so you can see how bad the waves are and the weather. So Joan can cut to the footage of us trying this heat and showing the winner and stuff, and showing what people thought about it at the beach. So take a couple of minutes, have a little look at this, and we'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to test out a new format of competitive surfing. It's Joan against Eli. Welsh champion. Joan was giving him some shit, like, Welsh champions are shit, and he's driven all the way down from Wales. Come to the local. You've got to respect it, haven't you? He's come down here to beat Joan at a comp he's taken part in inventing. It could all go against him, it could go for him, who knows. So, the rules, boys. It's knockout surfing, so you've got 50 minutes to beat your opponent's score, and whoever gets the first wave of the heat, that's when the heat starts. Technically, you've got 15 minutes to beat it. If you don't beat it, they've won the heat. If you do beat it, then they've then got to beat your score. During that 15 minutes, if they get a better wave and up the requirement, then the 15 minutes starts again. Yeah?
So we could be in there for ages.
You could be in there for ages.
Be in there for hours.
Yeah, chasing fours and fives.
I'm going to drop it.
But every single time it changes, people, the requirements going up and up and up each time. So you're...
This could get, like, nuts.
It could.
Especially because it's quite big. We could, and we have 15 minutes to wait for one way. You could be, like, getting big scores.
What are you riding?
I think you should do Pete's.
Trusted.
So he's got the 5.7 chili jam, fresh nose job, back from the grave. Had some problems, but she's back. Probably will go faster now. And then Eli taking it really seriously on a borrowed board. Shout out for your new contract. He's using one of G-Man's old boards. Who do you think's going to win out of them two?
Oh, on the spot.
Fuck. Joan.
Oh.
Who's going to win? The Welsh national champion or Joan?
I ain't got much going for me.
Joan.
Oh, brutal.
Shit.
Okay.
There you go. This is what happens when you come to Cornwall though.
Right.
It's like, yeah, now you got the pressure, Joan. Feel
We're
like
going to do that walkout thing like WSL, stand next to
yeah, I'll go and get some Samba girls.
Sweet.
Imagine that if they walked you down the beach with scorecards. The MFs in large. And you've got the Medinas.
UFC knockout heat. Could be a moment in history. Could be looking back at this clip going, look how far you've come. Got to up the production team. Sausage dog escaped onto the beach, followed Jackson down there. Joan caught a wave and I missed it, but luckily it was pretty much an in and out. So Eli just got another wave and I missed it. It was a nice 2-turn, and if it had landed his second turn, 100% would have been better than his 5. It would have changed the whole situation. Then you've taken off on one wave and it's pretty much an in and out. So time's real ticking down for Joan to get his 5.1 he needs or better. Oh, 2 minutes to go.
Oh no, I have to hit. I'm done actually.
Oh, that's got to be the score. That's got to be the score, and he claims it. So 2 minutes to go. Joan takes off. Gets a 5.5, betters Eli's 5 by half a point, and has opened the timer back up. So now there's 15 minutes for Eli to better a 5.5, and the weather is really coming in. That's it. Oh, that's sick. Rides out. Oh, he claimed. So now Joan's got 15 minutes to better a 6. This is going pretty sick. I thought it was going to be over on the first wave, but it's not. Joan has got 5 minutes. He is sitting there 5 minutes needing to better a 6. Eli's just trying to better his score, but nice turn, but Joe needs a runner or an air to get this. He's got 40 seconds left. How does it feel to be second in the world?
We had no clue what was going on.
Really?
But it's just because we couldn't see.
Because of the rain and stuff?
Yeah, like if they were just on poles, it'd be fine.
Yeah, it's because they were on the banister. I think I scored Eli's wave, first wave, a bit too high.
Where did you go?
I went
Did I not beat that at all?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, so Eli had that wave,
Yeah.
and then with 2 minutes to go, you beat it and got a 5.5, and then with about 7 minutes to go, Eli beat that and got a 6,
Yeah.
and then with like 1 minute to go, you took off, and you had that like one turner.
Yeah.
And that was the wave that you needed to beat a 6 on. Like you needed to go full send on that.
Yeah.
But
I like the format though. Like the feeling of it's sick. You're
Is it?
Trying to get a sick wave.
is that the feeling that you're trying to get?
I wasn't trying to do like 3 to the beach.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go big until he got scoring, and I was like, shit.
You are the first USC champion of the world.
Of the world.
How's it feel?
Just another day in the office. Nah, joking.
World champ.
Nah, difficult to see the colours to be honest. I could roughly tell.
You got the first wave, and I gave it a 5, which is probably a little bit high. But then 2 minutes to go, Joan gets a 5.5,
Yeah.
and then you waited until about 8 minutes, I think, and then I gave you a pretty solid 6. But it was so bad, like the weather, I could hardly see. So I don't know if it was. I'm pretty sure it was the best wave of the heat.
Okay, yeah.
And then Joan just couldn't catch a good wave after that. Okay, cheers for doing it. Was it fun? Or?
So fun.
Yeah.
If I could tell what was going on,
Yeah.
it actually like pushes you.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So that's the feeling. So
Yeah.
so there. Okay. Cheers, lads.
Fuck.
Second in the world ain't that bad. on the format.
Next time maybe.
He just paddled out.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Joan lost. Eli is now the Welsh champion and the ultimate surfing champion of the world. In the
Let it
first
slip. Let it slip. On home turf as well.
Yeah, no, he just came to Wales and just took it over. But like I was saying, that last wave that you got, if you'd have known the score you needed, maybe you'd have gone for an air, maybe you'd have landed it.
Yeah.
You know, that you had that one opportunity. It was a small opportunity, but you had one. And I think you might have just tried to do a big turn and then you weren't sure whether to claim it, you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, no, so, we didn't really have a clue what was going on, but
it was good fun. It wasn't the best day, but to try it, but we had fun doing it, and I definitely can see the intensity of the format working really well for a spectator and for a surfer's mindset to be more about free surfing in a competitive, the proper purest form of surfing, competitive surfing,
and to see different styles of approach as well. I think Eli from the start was just putting numbers on the board, and I was just like, fuck this, I want to try land something.
You're going to just send it.
And then as soon as he got a score, I was like, right, shit, I've got it.
Yeah, well, he actually did go pretty large on one as well and just fell on the turn. I can't remember if I filmed it. It might have been when the dog escaped, but he got like a big 2-turner.
Really?
And if it had landed that, so I don't know. I mean, it's just about being reactive to the wave you're on. I think that you're never going to safety surf a wave ever in that format. If you get a rubbish wave,
it's true.
You're going to be like, well, I'm going to try and get the most out of it. Otherwise, there's no point in surfing it. And if you get a really good wave, you're going to want to create. You're going to want to utilise your opportunity, so that your competitor really has to pay, and you're like, right, you ain't going to get that one back. Because 15 minutes to answer a wave is long enough, but it's not that long, and it felt intense when I was going through it.
Well, I think as soon as someone puts a decent score on the board, you've got to decide if you're waiting for a good one. 15 minute goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I think to try and rival a good score on a lesser wave is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Unless you do something massive.
You've got to do something massive. And that would have been so hard for me to judge sitting there with the camera as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think I probably overscored Eli's first wave a little bit because the viz was so bad. But then I think I got your second score that beat it pretty spot on, and then his score that beat that, I think I got relative. The other thing is, as a judge, you're obviously trying to get an accurate score. This is something I found out on the weekend. You obviously want to put an accurate score on the board, but you're really just going, is it better or is it worse?
Yeah.
And then you sort of go, how much better was it?
Yeah.
And it's almost felt more natural. I feel like by leaning into the subjectivity of surfing, but also just eventually people saying, was it a better wave?
Yeah. And also for me, as a surfer, I've never surfed a heat man on man, so it is a bit different already. So you never know exactly what they did on a wave when you're in the water, but you can sort of tell from behind a little bit.
Yeah. And
to be able to go, okay, I just need to beat that, is way different than not really knowing what's going on with all the other two surfers in the water as well, and then a normal competition.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves with competitive surfing as it is the 4-man stuff. It's funny because one of my favourite rounds in the CT to watch the replays of is that 3-man non-elimination heat.
The one they used to do.
Yeah, because they're always just kind of sending it.
Yeah, because it's only first that goes through.
Yeah. First goes through,
Skips.
The second have to go to the second round.
Yeah.
I always quite liked watching the replays of that heat because someone's always on a heater.
Yeah.
I think the long format version of these heats will be maybe a 2-hour heat or an hour and a half heat, and you accumulate your score at the same time as you've got the potentiality of knockouts, and then lower rounds, and when you're trying to get a few more heats on the day,
just do knockouts.
Straight to knockout, like the prelims. It's like do or die.
Yeah.
It's sink or swim. It's dog eat dog. I was thinking of taglines for it yesterday, and I came up with surfing settled for those who claim it. So cheesy.
You have too much free time.
I know. I don't have any free time. I'm just a psycho. I literally was in my bed building an app at 11 o'clock last night. I'm just getting way too into it.
Live for it, don't you?
I love stuff like this. This is to me, I owe surfing so much, and I really want to leave my mark on it. It's an inherent feeling. So, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying, if competitive surfing was interesting, it wouldn't be dying, would it?
It's true.
Which is harsh. No one not no one watches it, but there's globally, how many surfers are there in the world?
I couldn't tell you.
Must be.
That number's definitely going up.
It's 100% going up.
Fast as well,
Yeah. Let's say it's 100 million surfers. I think that's pretty...
I don't even know how many people are in the world.
There's 8 billion. I think there's 25 million people in Australia. And something like...
They probably all surf.
50% of them surf. So even if you said 50 million surfers and there's more and more, how many people have participated in surfing? With other sports, what they do is that the pinnacle of the sport is the face of the sport. You don't watch, say, Conference League in football is the pinnacle of the sport. You say the Premier League and the Champions League and the World Cup. And with surfing, it's not really necessarily the case. It's more the lifestyle that leads the way.
Yeah, but I think that's why it's such a good sport. It's not even really just a sport, is it? I don't even know if you can call it. Competitively, it's a sport, yeah, but there's so much more to it than just competing.
I think it can be very entertaining for people who surf and people who don't surf. I think that's the key.
Yeah, but I don't think that competitive surfing should be at the top of or the forefront of surfing.
No. Well,
yeah, it would be good to have exciting competitions, but
do you think there should be... The way I look at it is I've got a kid who loves surfing. How does he tell me that what he wants to do when he's older is be a surfer? And then how do I help him do that? But what is being a surfer? Because there's different ways. Well, it definitely isn't constantly lending money off your parents until they're sick and tired of it and then getting a real job. It's got to be something more than that.
There's different routes you can take, isn't there?
Yeah, but the hard work would mean you're successful at it. Whereas I think that there's surfers that work really, really hard at it that aren't seeing the fruits financially to make it viable.
Competitively, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And I think
that's why it's broken, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think it's easier. This is going to go down like a lead balloon probably. And I know that it doesn't... I'm not saying it's easy. I think it's easier for girls to become pro surfers because the lifestyle basically means, okay, a sponsor's going to give you money for eyeballs on you. Surfing girls have more eyeballs on them than the people that are... So like most girls who are doing the competitive, I've got so much admiration for them for like going down the competitive route when they know they could probably go down a different route, get more money and not have as much stress. Whereas boys, that free surfer sort of lifestyle, kind of really hard. You've really got to break a mould to do it successfully.
It's true.
And there's some people that are huge in terms of name and everyone knows who they are, but they're not financially making lots of money.
It's true.
By having a sport like this, yes, it's more entertaining, but we're building characters. We're giving the surfer a platform to show how good they can be and how hard they've worked, but we're also showing who that person is with the way we want to structure that fight aspect.
Yeah, you know? And I think stuff like the tour as well just dulls personalities, doesn't it, nowadays? You don't see any of, like, everyone's sort of the same, if you get what I mean. The way there's small differences, but compared to what it used to be like, where...
There certainly was, it did feel like there's these magic characters that you liked, but you couldn't ever say exactly why you liked them because they were a bit gnarly. Yeah, it's kind of rock star. Surfers are kind of rock stars. Yeah. And do you know what? I actually think that top sportsmen in any field are kind of rock stars, but they can kind of get away with it and they're kind of making hundreds of millions of pounds off the back of it. So like, yeah, they've got to show up and still do what they do, but outside of that they've got this mad life where everyone just kind of wants to be in and they get to do whatever they want. And I think that surfers, it's almost like they kind of get to do whatever they want but never from a place of security, and therefore maybe never from a place of being a really good role model for the next generation to come through. This is a scenario where you could get a very popular surfer from this country and a very popular surfer from this country. They have a battle. They have each other's countries behind them for this one battle. Just like a boxing match. And at the end of it, one's going to win, fine, but both those countries are really going to know the person they've just faced. And that's how you build profile. And I think surfing doesn't build profile at the moment unless you're working your socks off to try and build your own profile for your social media content and stuff, and then you're leaning away from the sport side of it.
Yeah.
I think it's trying to marry up those two things. I don't know. Maybe I'm not talking any sense. But
No, it does. It does make sense.
Yeah,
does.
I'm passionate about it, and at the very least, we're gonna have a good time getting a couple of events out of it and just seeing how it goes. I think so. I'm all for it. Right. Anyway, so you got anything more to add? I don't know, you're a competitor, I'm never going to compete probably.
It's going to be really interesting to watch the space and see what actually comes from it. Obviously, we ran through it on the weekend, but that was basic level, and I enjoyed it. Like, I came out there, I was like, yeah, I lost. I didn't really care that I lost, but I was like, I want to do it again. Like, let's go again next weekend, sort of thing.
Well, that's it. And if we build it properly, now we can be like, oh, Eli beat you this time. You can build the own battle has its own persona now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you and Finn Gillespie I always thought would be a good one because you've had a couple of battles, like for the board riders comps.
Yeah.
You know, everyone was like, oh, he's gonna win this one. You know, like but that, like leaning into that's a good thing. It's healthy for everyone. Yeah. More on this to come in the next videos over the next weeks as we practice more, get apps finished, make boards that make sense, film it properly, have a couple more people on the beach helping the production side of things. So keep watching because it's happening. Out this week we've got, is that coming out this week?
Yeah, I think Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, Sunday we've got a sit down podcast with Alan Stokes, who is arguably one of the most well-known UK surfers who ever lived, made a successful career out of surfing. Yeah. Owns houses, you know, didn't work a day in his life technically until he was 40 odd.
It's really interesting actually, editing it. I really enjoyed going through it.
Good dude, full
really
of knowledge.
Interesting,
yeah, and so that's coming out on Sunday. Friday we have got how long it takes to build a surfboard. It's a question I've got a couple of times, like how long do we take to shape, how long do we take. It's good for you guys to understand how long it takes to make a surfboard, so we're gonna put that video up on Friday.
Yeah.
So there you go. Until next week, hope you get some waves this week in the northerlies. Find a corner, get it done.
Pretty rough, isn't it?
There's always some good waves around. Well, maybe the weekend looks good.
Small and clean, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Sunny.
Cheers, guys. Catch you soon. Like, comment, subscribe. YouTube made me do it. Bye.